Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. Over the weekend, I conducted an opinion poll on Twitter and the results shocked me. In that opinion poll, I had asked Kenyans who they would vote for if elections were to be held on that particular day as their preferred presidential candidates. And I narrowed the choices to three individuals: William Ruto, the president; Kalonzo Musyoka, presidential candidate; and Kebaso Morara, one of the now emerging political leaders in the Republic of Kenya. 48% of Kenyans picked Kebaso Morara as their preferred presidential candidate. Ruto, Kalonzo never even reached 20%. And I doubted the outcome of that opinion poll. I then decided to conduct the same opinion poll on this YouTube channel. Again, the results shocked me further. 51% of Kenyans said if elections were to be held on that particular day, they would pick Kebaso Morara as their preferred presidential candidate over Ruto and Kalonzo. And after that, I noticed several other people were conducting similar opinion polls, and Morara was still emerging. The truth of the matter is that the opinion polls I conducted were motivated by a post, by a video I did earlier. In that video, I casually just asked the subscribers to list for me the person they would vote for if elections were to be held, and I narrowed it to three people. I read the comments, and most people were for Morara, so I wanted to gauge based on the percentage. So earlier this week, Kebaso Morara requested Kenyans for financial support to aid in his civic activities across the country. Because you all know that whatever Morara is doing, nobody else in the Republic of Kenya can never do. And it's actually a very expensive venture. And when he sought for that financial support, some Kenyans, especially the government, decided to engage on propaganda. But Kenyans ni nani? Within a very short time, Morara Kebaso notified Kenyans that he had reached the limit on M-Pesa. I'm just trying to get that post. This is what he updated Kenyans. Good evening. I thank you all for your contributions towards our mission. The M-Pesa is full and the transaction limit has been exhausted. Kindly, I request you to stop sending until tomorrow. Remember, there's always the maximum M-Pesa can hold. Within very short time, Kenyans had exhausted that limit. It only tells you one thing, that Kenyans are happy with whatever Morara Kebaso is doing on their behalf. And that's why they decided to support the initiative. And as part of his accountability, Morara then updated what he has done with the photo, because what he has done with the finances, because he had requested Kenyans to contribute towards public address, because this guy would always go, stand on top of his vehicle, he would address gathering and leave. So he thought that if I had public address system, that would be okay. So he went and bought a very nice Toyota Prado for that. As someone who's been involved in campaigns, this vehicle here would just serve the purpose. Of course, the government side also came up with some propaganda, which Kenyans have now dismissed, that this vehicle is registered under the name of Munyoro investment company associated with Rigathi Gachagua. Because remember, this government is desperate and nobody can do anything without being sponsored according to them. For example, initially they tried to link Morara with Matiang'i. That did not work. Now they were trying to link him with the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. But that's not the reason for this video. In this video, I want us to talk about the mistakes which Morara must avoid. Because yesterday, Morara announced to the country that he was going to embark on a journey of exposing projects in Mount Kenya. And I said to myself, the guy was going to commit serious mistake. I didn't want to talk about it because probably some people would think that I'm not for him. This is what he posted. Mount Kenya, the launch caravan starts on Friday 6th, which is tomorrow. Muranga, Kirinyaga, Embu, Tharaka Nithi, Meru, Isiolo. Meetup point is National Oil, Kenyatta University, next to Unicity Mall. As usual, make sure you budget for your fuel, fare, food, and upkeep. Take note, this is a campaign against corruption and bad governance. The mission is to make the truth known and to engage the public on how we can make quality decisions at the ballot. We will also talk about citizen mob audit and accountability. They bought opposition and pocketed parliament. They thought we were powerless and afraid of kidnap and torture. We will rewrite our history. If you paid very close attention to what this guy posted here, very deep, and you can predict that no government was going to allow this to happen. For example, saying that the mission is to make the truth known and to engage the public on how we can make quality decisions at the ballot. Remember, governments are formed through the ballot. And once they take power, they always want to dominate. And they can only dominate if you don't have knowledge. And this guy is announcing to them that the caravan was about to educate Kenyans. That was yesterday. Then he went earlier today and made this post. And that's where the mistakes are coming in. Due to security reasons, I have cancelled my Mount Kenya tour of stalled project where money has been stolen. The tour was to start tomorrow morning. Intelligence briefs reaching me indicate serious infiltration by state operatives, by persons coming as well-wishers and persons of goodwill. I will announce the next move. You will agree that there are mistakes which this guy committed, which probably he ought not to have committed. Because if you were to ask me, no any other Kenya has actually done what this guy was doing. And it was very effective. So in this video, I want to reveal to you guys the mistakes which Kebaso Morara is committing, and you should avoid them. But before you do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But again, before I dive in, allow me to also take this opportunity to introduce you guys to LemFi. LemFi is a mobile money app for users in the UK, Canada, and the United States of America to send money back to Kenya. They offer the best exchange rates, and the money will be delivered instantly into your M-Pesa account, Airtel Money account, and of course, if you want, directly into your bank account. You can use the link in the pinned comment to download the app. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the mistakes which Morara Kebaso is committing, which he must avoid. The first mistake is committing is found on the 48 laws of power, law 48, which normally advise that you must take formlessness. That you must be formlessness. In short, you must be flexible, you must be fluid, and unpredictable. That is what Robert Greene is advising us. Because if you take shape and your plans become visible, you open yourself to attacks. That is the first mistake Kebaso committed, which he ought not to have committed. He told these guys that we are going to Mount Kenya on Friday, and we are meeting at this place. So if you're free, come with your vehicle, come with blah blah, and probably someone advised him. That was the biggest mistake he was going to commit. Previously, what used to happen? Morara would just emerge from nowhere. Like, I want to give you a typical example. William Ruto was in Kisumu. Then after leaving Kisumu, Morara was in Kisumu the next day. And he appeared in Kabonyo Kanyagwa. Highlighted that, disappeared. Nobody knew he was there. People just came to know he was there from the videos. That strategy was working for him. It was formless. Nobody would predict. How many people would have thought that Morara would be in Kisumu when the president was still sleeping in Kisumu? And that's how he has operated. So I don't know who advised him to announce his plan. Which takes me to the second point, second mistake he's committing. Infiltration. Morara must be very careful with the infiltration. He will be infiltrated. And he might not even know that he has been infiltrated. When I was working at Okwa, Kenya, we were infiltrated by the government. At least for me, it's on record. I advised our people that don't just bring people to enter data, because we wanted to meet some deadlines. We had data which had been collected. We had people supervising and monitoring. Then these guys decided, okay, let us hire. They put an ad out requesting for people. I think that was not the case. They asked some people to bring people. So there were people who were there, came. So their work was to sign these donkeys, monkeys you saw. Their work was to enter wrong data. Because William Ruto knew, and Uhuru Kenyatta by that time, that once infiltrated, the results would go to IBC. IBC will reject those signatures. And that's exactly what happened. The moment Morara announced the plan, he was going to be infiltrated. Which means moving forward, for him to avoid those mistakes, Morara must be very careful with the kind of support he's receiving. He must be very careful. Because the Ministry of Interior has free money. They must give their people to fund him so that they can study certain things. He must be very careful with the people he's allowing around him. Because right now he's a star. Everybody wants to associate with him. He must know who he's allowing around him. He must also know who is communicating with. Who is he communicating with? He must be very careful. Because he might be feeding the intelligence with the information without knowing. Yeah? Who is he sharing his plans with? Very important. That is the only way he can avoid infiltration. Must be very, very careful. Number 3, and this one I want him to take very seriously. It is still too early for Morara to expose his intentions. The other day I did a video about the possibility of Morara running for the presidency. I just did the video. So assuming Morara wants to run for the presidency, that cannot come now. If that were to come, definitely he's going to lose it. He must just continue doing good things, wait for the right timing, hit. Because there are old guards in the country. They are seeing the guy as a young man. They will not allow him. Number 4, Kebaso must be very careful with his security. This government, and indeed not only this government, any other government, is not very serious on issues that can affect them. and they can do whatever they want, including taking him away. Kenyans contributed. Then the guy goes and shares photo of his office, yeah, which is in his house. So which means tomorrow the government might just decide to go and start harassing the family. So they'll hide behind looking for something in the office. Take away the computers. The families will be traumatized. So you must be very, very careful with his security. He was in Kisumu here. I saw him with some men. Must be very careful. And lastly, political association. Who will he be associating with, politically speaking? Because he will start associating with certain people. Kenyans will not like it. And I know Kenyans, once they hate you, they will hate you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Ladies and gentlemen, Morara is doing a fantastic job, but he must avoid those mistakes. If there's any other mistake you think the man can avoid, please let me know in the comment section. Until that time, this is Makwiny. Bye-bye.